Well, it's been a little bit since I last made a video. I've been sick as a dog for the past week plus, and so I probably sound a little bit like it. And so it's made it pretty tough to make a video. Appreciate your patience. Appreciate the continual comments on kind of like my launch video about how buying the Model Y has reinvented me. I continue to get a couple of comments, challenging my ability to be reinvented by a car. Of course, the car didn't reinvent me, it's the idea of it all. And I continue to have, that is my theme, I guess, for this year as well. Reinvention and how the car is kind of changing my ways and inspiring me really to kind of do things differently. I also want to talk a little bit about my electric bill, which I have received. And I had a few people asking me about, hey, what's that look like? And how much has it changed? Is anything new? So I have a little over 5,000 miles now in my car. I bought it, I think I took delivery September 30th. And we were gone a week. About a week after I got the car, we disappeared for a week. So I put a lot of miles on it as far as I'm concerned, from what I normally do. And being sick for a week has helped get some miles back. But my wife's driving it more, which is great. And so at the end of the year, actually, I went ahead and put another $250 down for another Model Y. And I've got that thing ordered. And so now it's just a matter of, when do we want to take delivery, and finding a better interest rate than what I think Tesla's offering right now is another play that I'm looking to do. So if you guys have any good ideas on that, I need to get that kind of done and wrapped up. My guess is we could have it as much as early as next week if we're going to get it. So I just need to follow up with my wife on a couple of things regarding the electric. So I looked at my year over year, and December is just a weird month. So I bought the car September 30th, and we installed the level 2 charger in our house, and I've only charged at home so far. That's it. So when I look at October and November compared over the prior year, I have about 200 to 300 kilowatts more output or charge basically happening. But December's the weird month. So in December, my older boys came home, and they were home the whole month. December's also a month where we've got all of our Christmas lights up, and they're running constantly. The heaters kicked in a whole lot more. We've had the kids were here, so that meant there's a lot more energy running than normal. They're playing games, but their lights are all on, and they're just constantly on. And so I expected December to be more. So I looked at last December, and in all of December last year, I ran it was like 1,200 kilowatts or something in the whole month, which I don't know if that's high or low, but I'm on ComEd in the state of Illinois. And this year, December was like 2,100 kilowatts. Now, that's almost twice as much as last year. I don't know that I charged that much more. I mean, I think we did a bit more driving than normal in December, and it could be why we had that much more output. I'm not really sure, because our kids were home last year as well at that time. Maybe we had more lights up this year. I'm not really sure what changed, obviously, other than the car. So, our bill, I think, came in at $330 or something. Prior month's bill was like $160. And so, at the end of the day, even if all $300 of that came from the car, I think we're still ahead because I've put a lot of miles on. And so I don't know. I mean, I definitely felt the increase in the bill, but it's not quite like I thought it could have been. Obviously, I haven't bought gas since September 30th for my former car, and I had an Audi A7, and I ran premium gas. So you do 5,000 miles. I probably averaged about 430 miles per tank in that car. So you can do the math, and even just in gas alone, I'm still way ahead. Of course, 5,000 miles. I'm closing in on getting an oil change again, and just et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I feel like still this is a no-brainer decision. Um, I just can't even tell you how great the car is. I mean, it's just so nice. Now, I've had some people in the comments. One of them was kind of my favorite recently, and it was something like, all my friends who have them say they're junk, Teslas. So I'm thinking to myself, all your friends that have Teslas say they're junk? Huh. Okay. Well, let's talk about that. Is that, two friends? Is it 17 friends that have Teslas that all say they're junk? Like, help me understand what that means. Junk is relative, right? So take for me for example, I felt like American-made cars were junk for a long time. I mean, I just didn't buy them. I didn't buy them because they let me down too often when I first started buying cars. And so I went and I got foreign cars. Usually I got Hondas, Lexus, Audi, and those cars just worked for me. They worked longer. I felt like they were more, there's more luxury services in them. They just felt like they drove better. They just felt built better. Now, I'm not talking about, an F-150. I'm not talking about the truck class. The truck class, I think, is different. But you're getting a truck, and so it's not the same category from a sedan standpoint. So I had purchased and owned a Lexus LS 430. I bought a used one, and I drove over 200,000 miles on that at 220, I think. Unfortunately, it got totaled. So, that was the end of that. I had one bad Audi A6. I had it but I mean, I don't know if it was bad, but I got rid of it with just about 100,000 miles on it because there was a level 2 oil leak, and they wouldn't fix it. And that's when I got my Lexus. So, but I drove that thing. I drove 80,000 miles on that car, 60,000 miles on that car, and it was fine otherwise. But it just felt better. It drove really nice. And then I had my A7 for 11 years. We've had Honda vans. We had a Honda Pilot, SUV until somebody ran into that. So, I've just stayed away from American cars, and I called them quote unquote junk. They weren't junk, right? But they were junk in my mind, in my eyes. So, and that's just all relative, right? It's just my opinion of it. And that person that said that all their friends that own Teslas say they're junk is all relative. And I exchanged with that guy, and it was a good exchange. I don't care if people feel like they're junk. That's fine. I felt like American-made cars were junk for a long time. So, now, is that a fair thing to say? It doesn't really matter, right? I suppose it's what you think. And so, are there elements of a Tesla that might be considered junk? I suspect, yeah. I mean, there's probably some cheap parts on here, here and there. But it's about your mindset and the frame by which you want to look at something, right? And the frame in which I'm looking right now is practicality, lower expenses, high technology, and longevity. I mean, just some of those things right there. I'm not sure how you beat Tesla. I really don't. Now, American cars are, or there's American cars. There's a lot of cars coming out that are electric, right? And I just saw one recently, and I mean, it's like 130 to $150,000. That's their entry point. Like, who's buying that car? I mean, seriously, who's buying that car? And again, if Tesla did not come out with a $20,000 discount this year on this car and the other cars, I don't know that they see the sales that they're seeing. So listen, I'm driving a Tesla because the price came way down and it now made sense. And so that's why I entered into this space, right? And I'm really glad that I did because the car is awesome. And let's talk about the safety side, right? I mean, the safety is indisputable. I'm sorry, remove user error. Okay, just take that out of the equation. Remove the stupid driving that happens with these Teslas. I'm sure there are plenty out there, right, where they're fast cars. They drive them too fast. They aren't paying attention. Like, let's just kind of take all that out. It just, the car gets in a wreck, gets hit by somebody or something, or you hit somebody else, whatever. I mean, the car is incredibly safe. So there's so many advantages to having this car. It's ridiculous. Now, full self-driving is one of them. So I'm going to go right here now and got eyes on you constantly. So, these stories of people sleeping while they're driving, I'm not sure how you get away with that because mine has a freaking heart attack if I look down and try to find a song, for heaven's sakes. Like if the warning lights come off and say, hey, pay attention to the road. So I don't know how you fall asleep driving one of these things unless you're wearing sunglasses, I suspect. I did at night close my eyes for probably 3 or 4 minutes just to see if it would respond and what it was like. And it didn't give me any hard time. So I don't know if there's a vision thing at night or what the deal is. It's not as able to see, but it's pretty cool. Now, I did watch a video recently also with Elon. He was doing some conference call and a guy was asking a bunch of questions and he talked about full self-driving this year. And I want to say he said by the end of this year that full self-driving will outperform any human driving the car by a long shot. And he went so far as to say that if everybody had full self-driving, accidents would go away. I don't know. Probably. I mean, it doesn't make sense for him to just make those outlandish statements because obviously there's lots of cars on the road. So by the end of, I think, Q2 or Q1 this year, there's going to be another full self-driving update, and it'll be already safer than most people driving the car. So if they're driving a human driving it, so it's only just going to continue to get better, which makes me excited. Again, I haven't done a road trip yet with this thing, and I really want to see what that looks like. So also regarding my car, interestingly enough, because I've received a bunch of credits from referrals that have gone out, that people have taken advantage of the referral code and they've purchased a car and they've been delivered. I'm going to take that money and put it down on a car. And it was funny. I called Tesla and said, hey, I'm coming in, I want to do this. And the dealership that I was calling I talked to 3 people and none of them knew how to even do that. None of them thought initially that I could do it. And I started to have heart palpitations because, what am I going to do with all these credits? And, thankfully, when you look on their website, it's pretty clear that you can use credits for a down payment on a car if you want to use it for that. So that all happens apparently when you kind of finalize the deal. So if I were, like the first time we bought the car, I wrote a check I didn't write the check, but I did a wire transfer for our down payment and I just submitted it through the app the night I picked the car up, which again, just from a buying standpoint, the simplicity of buying this car. Oh my gosh. I was talking to my nephew, and he and his wife, a couple years back, they went online, they picked out the exact car they wanted. She called ahead and said, and this was for like a Ford Navigator or something. And it's like, hey, this is the car I want. I'm coming in. I want to be out of there in an hour. I don't want to talk to anybody. This is exactly what I want. We're going to come in and we're writing a check for this, right? And so they went in, and it still took almost 2 hours to buy the car, you know? And she had to threaten several times, like, I'm going to leave, and it still took 2 hours. So I suspect you could end up having a 2 hour experience at Tesla. I think ours took about an hour, but probably 30 minutes of that was just us waiting for our turn. And then it was, me kind of laboringly looking over the car and just making sure that, um, you know, I didn't miss something that was misaligned, and all those things, all the little checks you do when you purchase the car and make sure everything's in order, right? So I took my time with that. We ended up talking to some guy that was buying a Cybertruck, and we had some distractions. But I mean, I think if I sifted it all out, it's probably half an hour between kind of looking through the car, asking the guy a lot of questions at purchase, and then it was like literally like 8 pieces of paper or something like that, and we signed our names 3 times and we were done. I mean, it was just that simple. And so, if nothing else, just the ease in which they're trying to make everything go in this whole driving experience, from purchase to selection to the driving experience itself. I mean, it's just so nice. It's so nice. It's so easy. My wife has not adopted the technology as well as I'd hoped, but although she's doing much better at it than she had been. She's driven the car several times to work. I think she loves the fact that it's like charging, and or not charging, but it's like preconditioned and ready to go when she's done with work, and she can schedule it. And so that's so nice to not have to even worry about it, and you just get in the car, right? So anyway, just a quick update about the car, just kind of continued reflections on it. I'm wanting to get a hitch on the new one if we get one, just so I can have that. I still haven't even experienced a supercharger. No idea what that's like still. There isn't any really near me, to be honest. There's something at a hotel down south of me a little bit, and I don't know that it's a supercharger. So I've never charged my car outside of the house. Now, what do you recommend I do if I have two Teslas? I've got a level 2 charger that I installed at the house. Do I get another one installed? That's, going to be, for me, it's going to be another $1,000, just for the install, plus the $400 for the device. I don't think we need to. ComEd kind of sucks where I am. There is a rebate coming up here in Illinois that will start at the beginning of this year. It's $4,000, and then there's a rebate for installing a level 2 charger where it's like up to, maybe it's the same amount. I don't know if it's for the car or the charger or for both. But in Illinois, ComEd, there's no time in the middle of the night. Like when I charge in the middle of the night, I don't get a better rate. You can do an hourly kind of program here, but even there, over the course of a year, you might save a couple $100. But then there's the inconvenience of offsetting your normal kind of like power usage, so probably washing and drying and run the dishwasher and that kind of stuff would have to shift to later hours. And for a couple $100 over the course of a year, I don't think it sounds too worth it to me. And then the other wackadoodle thing is ComEd's saying, hey, if you charge between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m., I'm like, that's 3 hours of charging. Like, what kind of a deal is that? 1 a.m. to 4 a.m., you get a better rate. I can't stand Illinois for so many reasons. It, anyway, so that's not looking so great as far as I can tell. Um, anyways, that's my story. That's my update. My electric bill probably went up about a third. Maybe yeah, about a third. Not quite that. At least over a couple of months. I've got an anomaly in December. I really don't know what happened there. But other than that, this car continues to impress. It continues to impress, and I love it. I just love it. It's a great, great, great car. Anyway, I'm at my final destination here, and if you're still on the fence trying to decide whether you want to get one, go drive one and just call it done. Once you do, just plan on calling it done once you do, because you're going to want the car. So I've had a few people in the comments actually say that. I've tried to avoid driving the car because I know if I get in it, I'm going to buy it. I'm the same way. I am the same way. I avoided, and I've never driven an Audi R8 because that's like my kind of like dream car, And the reason why I haven't driven one is because I know I would want to get one, and I'll find like a used one, and then I'm really in for it. So anyway, yeah, go test drive this though. It's not going to cost you as much money. You're going to end up very happy, very happy with the car. I'm confident in saying that. So anyway, talk to you soon.